Is Bitcoin going to make another pump like it did yesterday? Granted, it was a small pump, but lots of small pumps together, followed by a run, should be enough to break us through this all-time high, then to have some euphoria, to make even higher highs, to come back to have a correction. If you are new to Bitcoin and you don't know whether you should or shouldn't get into Bitcoin right now, and you want to know how you could possibly ride the wave of the prices moving up, or should you wait, are the prices going to go down any further, then this is the perfect video for you. Because in this video, I'm going to talk about my thoughts, my theories, my ideas about what could happen in the Bitcoin price today and over the coming days, and what we really need to see in order to be 100% certain that if you invest into Bitcoin right now, then you're not going to see your money just get thrown away and it get dumped away. So take some caution about when to invest. But all of that we're going to talk about in this one video. Currently, the fear and greed index is at 71 again. It had a little bit of a drop, but it looks like there's more greed coming to the market after the Bitcoin halving has passed by. We haven't seen that massive action after the Bitcoin halving, but it was more than likely already priced in, and there was possibly lots of buy the rumor, sell the news, but right now we haven't seen that sell off, so we could push that idea to the one side. Now, the general fear and greed index for the stock markets has gone up a little bit more, as we can see that it had this dip down to 32 and now it's moved back up again to 37. Is this now going to show us a reversal on the overall stock markets? Are we going to be able to see the S&P 500 recover these losses here right now? Let's face it, it did have a really good run, and this tiny correction relative to this move is really more than adequate. And if I'm expecting it could make a little bit more of a move down and then go sideways a little bit and then move up to make all-time new highs. Now, if the situation over the world with geopolitics gets worse, then we might see even lower prices. Hello and welcome to this video. My name is David Thorne. It is the 23rd of April 2024. It's currently 8:39 in the morning Central European time. If you are new to my channel, then my channel is David's Videos. I make a whole bunch of different types of videos, all from like programming and talking about my life living in Germany. But currently I'm making lots of videos about the Bitcoin price analysis, the movement of Bitcoin, because it is really quite interesting right now. It is really quite interesting right now. And if you're someone that wants to hedge against inflation, beat inflation, you want to put your money somewhere else for the future, then this is definitely a video to look at. Now, if you do want to check out all of the other videos that I've made over the past weeks about the Bitcoin price, I have made them every single day. So you can pop over to this playlist after you've watched this video and scroll through and see which video you want to look at with regards to each one day. Now, we have seen this huge sideways motion for the past month and a little bit more, and we are literally waiting for a possible breakout to the top or breakout to the bottom. Right now we're sat right in the middle, so we could speculate whether it's going up or down, but we haven't got any confirmation right now that we are going to see higher prices. With that said, we don't have any confirmation that we're going to see lower prices. But if history does repeat, this is more than likely a consolidation period. Whether it is distribution or whether it is accumulation, we will find out later. But that's why we need some form of patience and also confirmation to help us to understand, are we going to see higher or lower prices? So with that said, I just want to advise you that I am not a financial advisor, right? I am not a professional trader. I'm literally just a guy sat in front of a monitor talking about the price of Bitcoin going up and down with regards to my own investments. Me and my wife, we invested back in December 2021, November 2021, and we bought in slowly as the market went down. Granted, we didn't buy at the bottom. It's one of our biggest regrets that we had. Well, it's specifically me. It was my fault. It wasn't my wife's fault. But we have been very vigilant in staying up to date with the news about Bitcoin, and we kept all of our Bitcoin completely as it was up until a couple of weeks ago, where I started selling off small pieces of the Bitcoin here just to take some profits out, and then snapped up a whole bunch of Solana at a discount down here. and then just topped up some of the other coins that I had, and those other coins are literally just there as a kind of like just a safety net, just in case one of them does explode. I've put some money in, but the most of our money now is invested into Solana and also Bitcoin. Right now, Solana is not the biggest position, but if it does make a massive move relative to fiat currency, it will be the biggest position if it makes the big moves in the future that it does. But I am pretty much counting on that as well, and I have zero doubts in my mind about that. So when I talk about Bitcoin today, it is all about me talking about my own investments, and I am literally telling you what my plans are, what my thoughts are about it. Now, I do this for free. I do spend time researching before I make the video. And then obviously I have to make the video and edit it as well. So I would be very, very grateful if we could just spend the time right now tapping that like button. And if you do want to be notified, maybe today if I upload another video, or tomorrow, then feel free to go and tap that subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to. You don't need to, but you know, it's just the time right now that I'm giving you to do it if you do want to. Now, last thing before we move on, like I said, I do make lots of other videos, so if you do subscribe or you do like it, the YouTube algorithm presents you with other types of videos that I do create in the future, and it doesn't take your fancy, then just scroll on by. I will not be offended. I will be making these Bitcoin videos and more than likely other cryptocurrency videos in the future. But like I said, if I do decide to make other videos about other topics to help other people with inside of my channel, then either watch them or just scroll on by. With that now all out the way, we can jump straight into what you came here for, the Bitcoin price analysis, and whether or not we are going to get another pump today, how far we could expect the pump to go, and what you need to understand in order to ride this one wave. So let's jump straight in. I always like to zoom out, and if we go to the weekly level, the weekly time frame, we can see right now that we have currently got a green candle. It doesn't have lots of volume. We're only on Tuesday, so it's not really anything to go jumping up and down singing about, because it's just the initial phase. When we start coming to Saturday, Sunday morning, and we've still got a solid green candle, then that is really something to get excited about. So we're just going to skip over it for now. Looking at the daily charts, well, what's interesting, what's in my opinion is the most important thing to look at, right, is don't look at this up part, because we've had that now. We do know the overall sentiment for the market is bullish, okay, and so we should expect the market to continue being bullish, all right. But right now we have got a consolidation zone. Whether this is distribution, whether this is accumulation, we know factually that it's going sideways. Now, you will not know if it's going up. So it sounds very basic. We'll not know if it's going up unless we break through with power, with volume, all right? And then we want to break through and we want to come back and we want to see the price test this zone to say, hey, it's a strong zone now, and there is support on it, and the sentiment of the buyers are saying, no, we are still going to buy in to send the price up higher. Now, if we see the price come up, spike through, right, and this is really important for you to understand. This is the part about whether or not you should or shouldn't get onto the wave. And people might say buy in here, which is not bad if you are looking at investing long term, all right? But if you want to get into the best time and you don't want to get caught out, then you're going to need to be vigilant, all right? And you're going to need to be careful, because there is still a very high likelihood that the price could come down here. But this is what we are talking about right now. This is where we're going to think about the trap and how they can, because other people want to sell their Bitcoin as high as possible, but in order for them to sell, someone else needs to be on the buying end of it. They need to be on the other end of it. So really, people with as much Bitcoin as possible, enough profit as possible, want to get their money in as high as possible. So first of all, what they've got to do is they've got to make a market, right? If they've got hundreds or thousands of Bitcoin that they want to offload in order to take profits, thousands is nothing with regards to the 14 million that is possibly in circulation. So if they've got to offload 1,000, that will rock the market and they won't get all those 1,000 Bitcoins sold at that one price. And this is what the bars like this look like when someone does that. They want to offload it nice and slowly to keep the price as it is. Now, if the price does go up like this, but they want to be able to snap the price back down again to lower prices for them to buy it all back. This is what we call a trap. All right, this is what we call a trap, is that they're making a market up here to entice all the people to come in to buy it, to then dump as much as they can to get it to go down that they can, to entice all of the short sellers, the people that are selling short with leverage, to force the market down as fast as possible. And the likelihood is it will just snap straight through this one zone and come and bounce round about here. So this is the thing that we have to be careful of. If we're going to see the price come out, we want to see it come out and make a new high, right? And we want to see it come back and test this one previous high. And we want to see it test it well. But then we want to see momentum, and we want to see it push through that previous new all-time high, right? But once again, we want to see it come back and it confirm this is definitely done now, right? And we're going on to make higher highs. Now, if we come here and see that it pushes through and it does come back, it tests this one zone, but comes up and then comes here and says, no, I don't like it, and it comes back down again, and then tests this one zone, well, people could say that this is a double top, and that could be then signs to go down. Now, you could say that something like that is happening here, but that's not what I'm going to say. All I'm going to say is that in order for us to see higher prices, we have to come back, test that one zone and come up, test that one zone, come up, and so on. And then over the bigger picture, if we just move the chart over the bigger picture, what we're expecting to see, this is still on a daily chart, we're expecting to see the price come up, test it, come up, test it, come up, test it. And this is now where we can see it come back down again to make another low, right? But this is for the next leg. This is now for the next leg up to make higher prices, and that should then come and test this and do the whole cycle once again. So we need these corrections to be certain that the previous low is now a base for the prices to go up. Whenever it goes up, you want to see a correction come back, followed by a new rally. The new rally is showing that there's buyers in the market. So let's just give an example here. If you did have 1,000 Bitcoin, let's just say, and you wanted to offload that 1,000 Bitcoin, but you wanted to see whether or not there was a market for it, you could sell 100 at one go. And if 100 people bought it and the price of Bitcoin didn't move, right, it literally stayed the same, then you would know that there was a market there. Now, on the other case, if you sold 100 Bitcoin and the price moved down quickly, then you would know that there were no buyers in that one zone, and the price had to move through the order book in order to fill that one order. So if you then sold another 100 Bitcoin and you saw the price move again and again, then you would see that that area is illiquid. There's no orders there. But if you then suddenly saw that you put 100 Bitcoin to sell it and they all got snapped up straight away, then you did another 100 and it got snapped up, and again and again and again and again, then you would see that is where the market is. That's where the people are buying. So, but why would you want to sell the Bitcoin lower where the market is? You want to entice the market up to get the people into it, because most breakout traders, they are going to be buying when the price comes up and back down again, which is a good strategy only if you see that there's evidence that it's going to go higher, right? So you could jump in here and see it made a higher price, but this would be a very, very small part of your trade that you're going to make. And you get in, and then if it goes even higher, you get in again. And if it comes back down and it doesn't go through, you can get in again and then get in again, right? And when you see that it breaks through this one zone, this is when you're getting in. This is your big order, because you see there's momentum in the market. As long as it doesn't come to this point and come back down again, as long as it breaks it and it breaks through it with volume as well, and it comes and tests this is when you know you're in a true bull market and you're in a new rally going up. yes, the price could come back down again and go up, but that's ready for you to go into even more positions. Now, if it came up and came back down again and broke beneath this one area, then you would be pretty certain that it didn't have the momentum to break any highs. So all you would have to do is sell off, or to sell off these small positions. You would take a loss, but you were wrong. You got into the market ready for the move going up. That was a good thing because you didn't buy low. That's speculating. You bought at a point where the market was saying, I want to make higher prices. And it did make higher prices, but then the sellers were just too strong to push it down again. It meant that there wasn't any buying power behind it. There wasn't any conviction behind it to move it higher. So the fact that you had to take a few losses is fine. When it happens again, do it again and go in even harder. That is the cost of trading stocks, right? You've got to you have to accept taking a loss as well. If you always want to have a gain and you always want to be 100% perfect at it, then there is not a person in the world that is 100% perfect at it. So this is what we have to think right now. We could go in and to analyze these lower prices currently, but they're not really telling us much. But for the sake of it, let's go into the 4-hour time frame to have a look. We can see that we've got this nice constant move up with the exponential moving averages, right? So we have this range going up all the time, and it's kind of just staying above the 5 EMA, and it's staying above the 15 EMA, and it's just moving nicely. And this is what traditionally is called the pump, right? Is that they are pumping the prices up nice and gradually, okay? And once they're happy that the price is moved up nice and gradually, right? They might make a correction as well and then move the price up nice and gradually. Once they're happy, it's got to that point, they need to entice the market in, right? And they need for the people to get on the run phase. And the run phase, let's just say this was the pump. The run phase is when it goes parabolic. It goes straight up, right? And we can go and see examples of this when we come back down to the beginning of beginning of this, right? So this is the pump here. This is the pump, and then it consolidated, and this is the run now. This is the run, and this is the run. And at one point, there's a euphoric part of it where they do the dump, and there were small dumps here, and this is then the dump to come back down again. And we saw that there was some kind of run once again, but this is the volatility at the top. This is the people are hoping that it's going to go up again. But right now, the other thing that we want to test is that when you get to the bottom, right? When we get to the bottom, when we actually go down the bottom, because the bottom paints a picture of what the top should look like. And we want to see on that range at the top, is it the top? Is it going to go any further? And you can see here, it tested it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. The bottom wanted to know, oh, sorry, my mistake, your fault. This better. All right, the bottom, when it went to the bottom, there were traders, there were people that still were happy to trade this because they wanted to see, before they had this move, they wanted to see that this is dead. Is that they have forced it all the way down. And until they saw really that there was no one else capitulating, everyone had already capitulated. No one was selling any further. All the people left in the market now were the long-term holders, and they'd managed to get everyone to sell it all off. So everyone down here, like me and my wife and other people, we kept our Bitcoin. We said, no, we're not going to sell it. We're going to ignore this. And they pushed every single person, weak person out that was capitulating here. And they pushed it all out. And once they were certain that there were no more people ready to sell, right, and the volume literally just moved away, and there was no more movement. Look here, there's zero volume. Everyone agreed here for a long time. Everyone agreed that this is the price of Bitcoin. And then a few people obviously capitulated a little bit to bring the price down again, and then it went back to the same price here. So this was a little bit more capitulation going down, the final capitulation, and then we had that move over, and then everyone started to buy. And this is the run. right? This was the consolidation, the accumulation phase, where all the people that knew this was the bottom just kept on buying slowly every single day, slowing, accumulating at the cheapest possible price. And then once they were ready for this to go, they started adding more volume in to attract, to entice more people into the market. And then they saw, boom, the market just went. And that was the run, right? And the run never stopped after that. And it just kept on going. And this is what we have to think about today, is how can we cope with this? How can we cope with this top? All right. And how can you deal with this? So if you are looking at this right now thinking, when can I get in? When is the best time? Well, as I said in the beginning of the video, we are still very much in a consolidation phase. So we don't know. We don't know. This volatility is just showing that there are more and more people coming into the market. The more volatile the market is, the more people there are in the market. So, but until you see a breakout to the top, or till you see a breakout to the bottom, but you see this tested as well, and see it tested again, and tested again, and tested again, and there is no more people buying, and this drops down, then this is the point here, you know it's going down. All right, this no, because it could just be people buying up down here, ready to boom the price up. So don't jump into this trap down here thinking it's going to go. Don't go until you see that this one zone can be completely depleted of either the sellers or the buyers, one of the two, right? And that goes for the same for this. Once this top level has been absolutely sucked dry of all people selling, those people will move their sell orders up here and the price will just boom up there. This is exactly how the markets work, all right? This is how the markets work. And if you read the right books from the right people who've been trading this type of stuff before there was the internet, before there were charts, before there were all sorts of stuff, you will see this is how the market works. And this is how you successfully trade as well. With that said, let's just jump into the hour time frame to see what's going on. It's nothing much right now. We've got 9 o'clock, so if anything is going to possibly happen, we might see it over the next 2 or 3 minutes. So let's just keep me talking for a little bit, and let's see whether or not this could happen. We see that there was like a little range here, and there was a possible range up here. Oh dear. Possible range up here. We moved down. When you look at this, this is what I've been talking about, is that it came down. Oh dear, it's been annoying. Came down, it tested this, and it failed to test it. And now it's coming down, and it's got to come and test this line. And if it can push back through again and test this, we should see a new high. Otherwise, we would expect it to come down, test this line, and if it can, if it does, then we would expect it to come up. It might test this line a whole bunch of times and then drop down again, or it might go up. So this is what you've got to think about. If you are looking to get in, ultimately you want to get it in as low as possible, right? To dollar cost average in, right? But if you're wanting to make some money on a trade on a daily basis, then you definitely need to be looking at the lower time frames. So let's go and have a look at them as well. So on the 15-minute time frame, let's go to the 5 actually. We can see that the price has come to the 300. It got rejected off of it. The 5 to 15 have gone over the 50, but just come back down again. But we see these green candles. This is volume down here. So we're seeing people come into it, buying in it strong. So we could see the price come back up again to test this one region. Now, if we see the buyers go completely, this could just be a small correction, ready to come back down again. But ultimately, we can see that there were buyers. There were buyers here because there were people selling, and it managed to keep the price up and then reject the price to go up again. So if the price can't get through this and it gets rejected up again, there are other people that have drawn like this W shape here, but the W shape would have to come through this one zone and then test it and then back up again. That's how it would need to be. With that said, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. If you are still watching and you have watched my other videos, I thank you very much for all the support that you've given my channel. I don't really make these videos for other people, but I do make them for myself to keep a log of what I've said, what my thoughts were, when I would possibly trade, what's my expectations of the price in the future. Well, I definitely won't be selling any more Bitcoin in this one time here. I will definitely wait. I mean, how much we've got, like this much consolidation there. So I would assume that we would expect the price to go to say 80,000 before we'd see some other small consolidation. And if that is the first move, let's say that we see another smaller move, and then we come up like this, another consolidation, and then like another one, and then some consolidation as well. So, and then possibly the final like fake out to the top. So that could be like 100k. This could be a lot smaller version. It could be 90k. But this is what I would be looking for. I'd be looking for like say 3 levels going up, just like gradually getting lower. But at one point, I would expect the price to come down again and back up again to test these regions. So this is approximately what I would be looking for. However, the one plan that I do have is, because I managed to buy lots of Solana when it was very low, and I bought lots of it with Bitcoin. So I transferred the Bitcoin that was in profit over to Solana on like every couple of hours, on every single day as it was down here. Basically, there was like four days or something when it was really low, and when it got all the way down to the bottom. And I've been buying it in small pieces coming up as well, just as to consolidate here. Now, if in the event that Solana comes all the way back up to this one zone again and breaks this zone, this is now Solana relative to Bitcoin, and it breaks this and it comes up, then I will more than likely swap Solana back over to for Bitcoin again, top up my Bitcoin that I sold, and then wait for this to correct once again, and then swap it back to see how many Solana I get. So this is more, I wouldn't be selling any more Bitcoin for euros. All right, my selling for Bitcoin for euros in this one rally, let's call it, is done now. And for now, for the time being, I will just be swapping from Solana to Bitcoin, Bitcoin to Solana right now. And then in the future, if we see extreme fear in the cryptocurrency markets, that's when I will start snapping up any bargains that there are. The extreme fear will come in the market at one point, so we're just going to have to wait for it. But right now, it's all about taking profits and always going from. It's always looking out for the fastest horse. All right, and for me, the fastest horse is Bitcoin, or the fastest horse is Solana. The best horse is Bitcoin. But I believe in Solana through and through, and no doubt is going to come into my head about any Solana killers or whatever. Solana is the killer, all right? Solana has killed Ethereum. It will kill Ethereum any further, and any of these other blockchains that think they can come anywhere near Solana have got another thing coming. There's too many developers stood behind Solana, and the other networks have said we've got 4 or 5 developers. That's nothing. It's nothing. A tiny project on a software team would have 4 developers, and they would be making a silly small app for a silly small company, right? But you need hundreds, you need a few thousands of people to create a network like that. Linux itself has lots of contributors for it. Android has thousands of developers contributing to it. So you can't have a handful of developers making a network that they want the whole world to use. So it just doesn't work. Anyway, with that said, I have and I will be continuing to get into Tesla. I don't care what price Tesla is. I'm just going to go into it because I know it's got value, and right now people are judging it as a car company. It's not a car company. It's a robotics company. It's a tech company. CleanSpark, which I don't have on here, CleanSpark and Riot, I invested heavily over the past week, and they've made massive gains because they're the miners, so they're going to make money when the prices go up. There's more profits. Well, now they need to work hard for it. But But that's basically it. Let's just have a quick overview of gold. We can see gold is coming back down again. Whether or not this means anything, whether or not this is just a breather, or whether or not the geopolitical system events that were happening were the things that made all of the banks and institutions move their money into safe haven assets like gold and silver and so on. The oil prices are coming down once again as well. This can affect one or two sectors of the world, but ultimately there are other sectors in the world that never get affected by the price of oil, and definitely never get affected by the likes of interest rates as well. So you have to jump between different sectors between different times of the year. So this is something that I'm not just looking at the price of Bitcoin, really. I'm looking at the bigger picture. It's more the fundamentals that I'm interested in than the technical analysis, because I'm invested for a long term, 10, 20, 30 years, and I want to retire when I'm 65. I don't care about retiring before then, but that is another 20 years time, and I want to know that I've got my money nicely invested now, that it can grow every single year, and I can keep growing it more and more and more over that one time. With that said, I think I've said enough, and I don't think the markets are going to make any massive move whilst I'm talking. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in another video that I make. Ciao, ciao. Goodbye.